Well, hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are live. If you are watching us, please tell us where you are tuning in from. We are streaming on our Facebook, on LinkedIn, and then, of course, our digital community. So tell us really quick where you are watching, where you are supporting this webinar. We are so excited to be here with you every Wednesday. Every Wednesday, this has become our weekly space to build and connect you with job opportunities, employer partners, and of course, career pathways, while sharing with you the latest resources and introductions that can support your next career pathway. Please meet us in the neighborhood where you can find and connect with additional resources, and then, of course, build community. Today, I'm honored to be joined by Arthur Salaiz, a district manager with StorQuest Self Storage. He has helped lead teams that deliver standout customer service and support day-to-day operations, and of course, deliver support throughout multiple locations. Very excited to have him. I also joined today by my co-host Patricia Naval, who is a segment cohort supportive partner right now today. She is a participant of our virtual community, also a digital creator and a virtual assistant who is very active in our Blue Star Careers community in our neighborhood. And we're so excited to have her here to be our co-host. So let's begin. Please, once again, tell us where you're watching, how you're supporting, and then let's explore what is passion to you. How do you show up and work so enthusiastic that you're so delighted to be there? We love to be able to carry that discussion with you. And so thank you so much for tuning in. Let's begin.
Hello.
Welcome once again. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you very much for supporting, for tuning in. I have Patricia Naval today as my co-host. She's going to take over this discussion, and I am so excited to introduce you as well to Arthur from StorQuest Self Storage, who is here as well to share a little bit more how the real upper mobility of careers it's all about. So, Patricia, you're on. Please, thank you so much for joining us, and go ahead and take it over.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you for having me. Hello, Arthur.
Hi.
So, my name is Patricia Nyambal, and I'm a virtual marketing assistant and a web designer. And I'm so happy and excited to join this conversation with you. This whole conversation is very important, especially for those of us who are career shopping for their next career move, especially the military connected talent and career changers who are looking to try to find their strengths and connect them with roles that have real upward mobility. So
Absolutely.
today we'll be talking about how to actually identify your passion and how that connects with roles that have some sort of connection with what you guys at sorry at StorQuest have to offer. So I'll begin with you, Arthur.
Absolutely.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Can
Thank you so much.
you? You're welcome. can you give us a brief introduction about yourself and what led you to this career pathway, and also, if you're open to it, what you enjoy doing outside of this work? Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, thank you for inviting StorQuest and myself to be here. It's a pleasure to be with you and Laura and the Blue Star family. Yeah, I mean, I started in this industry, the storage industry. Hard to believe it's going on 26 years ago. Actually, in May, it'll be 26 years. And I started off as an assistant manager in Westwood, California, and to be exact, right there on Santa Monica and Cotner. And to be honest, I never thought that I would, be in the storage industry because I had this negative idea of what storage was at the time. And so, long story short, I answered this small, tiny little ad in a newspaper. That's how we used to look for jobs back then, in a newspaper. I answered the ad. I made a interview date, and I ended up driving down to the facility there, and I ran into the facility, and I was like, "Oh my God, this is storage." And because I had that negative idea what storage was, I called my wife and I told her, I said, "Hey, this is storage. This is not what I want to do. I'm just going to go back home." And at that point, she was like, "Well, you're dressed already. You might as well go find out what it's all about." And so I went in to the facility there. They had a makeshift. They created all these units into like a divisional office. And so I was greeted by Stephanie. She was in the human resources. I still remember her well because she has such a great personality. She talked about growth. She talked about training, and introduced me to the divisional vice president there, the district managers that were working out of that office, the facility service manager, and just continue to talk about how I can improve and how I can move up. And that really excited me at the time. And I knew that this is something that I wanted to do, something that I could succeed in as well. And this allowed me the opportunity to grow from the assistant manager position all the way up into the district manager role. And today I'm a district manager in San Diego with StorQuest. I oversee 15 of the locations in San Diego, and I manage an awesome team of store managers and assistant managers. They're just a pleasure to work with. And my recommendation to anybody is to find out about the role that you're interested in. And you may not even be interested in the role like I wasn't, but still find out about it because it may be something that is up your alley and something that you're passionate about and something that you'll do well in. And so that's kind of the path that I took. And outside of work, I enjoy spending time with my family, my kids. They're in sports, so I spend a lot of time with that on the weekends and after work. And that's kind of my path. That's a path I took.
Wow, that's quite the a typical path for someone who just landed in self storage without
Mhm.
even wanting to, and all the way up to the upper management leadership. That's pretty impressive and also very inspiring for others.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So talking about path and career, can you actually help us define what passion, how someone can identify their passion? Because people always say, "Oh, what can you not follow your passion?" It's easier when you follow your passion. You can be successful, or you can find a meaningful role because your passion. That's where your passion is. That's where your heart is.
Mhm.
But what does that, according to you, what does that mean to follow? It's so vague. What does it mean to follow your passion?
Yeah, I mean, you have to find out exactly. Like for me, giving the example that I'm in, I knew that I wanted to be in the district manager role. So finding that path, so seeing the future and setting a goal for myself was the thing that created that passion for me. And so I think that you really have to analyze where you're at. Look at your skills, and sometimes it's not about your resume. It's really about what you bring to the table besides the resume. You may have some skills that and that's one of the things I talk about with my store managers is that they can never take those skills away from you. So they're transferable. And so when you bring those skills and you do your research on the company that you want to work for, this is where you blend in your skills. Like for me, I knew that I had the skill set to be able to do that job. And so I was passionate about it. And in the storage industry, You really, the store managers it's run by two or three managers. And so, you're running a multi-million-dollar property. And for me, that excited me. That was like, I want to do this and I know I can do this well. And that's what really drove my passion. So I think you got to align what your goals are to the position that you're looking for, and then decide, is this what I want to do? And I think that's the thing that drives passion. And on top of that, you also want, because people want to wait for that feeling to feel passionate, but sometimes you got to take the action in order to feel passionate. A lot of, we have some people that'll wait for that feeling to come, but it's not about a feeling. It's about just taking action. And had I not taken action, I wouldn't have never known what that feeling was like. Because once I got into the position, I was really passionate about it, but it took action. So taking action is what creates the passion and the motivation to go along with that. So I think just aligning yourself with the goals of the company and the goals that you have, and seeing what's in it for you as well, because you got to get something out of it. For me, I wanted to move up, but at the same time, I was benefiting the company as well and getting the results.
Okay. So taking action and be proactive and intentional about how you want to move in your career.
Absolutely.
And that's how, okay. Got it. And so for someone who is not familiar with the self-storage industry, what are the roles that are available in that space?
Yeah, I mean, we have different types, and this is the thing about when I first started, I didn't really understand what storage was about. But I mean, we have store managers, like in my district. I mean, from the ground level, we have store managers, we have assistant managers, of course, district managers. But when you start looking at like in the corporate office, we have asset managers, we have human resources, we got marketing departments, revenue management, we got an IT department. We also have a sales center as well. We also deal with real estate, because we're acquiring properties, disposing of properties, whatever the case may be in that situation. We also have construction. So there's a gamut of different skills that you can bring. I mean, it's not just the person behind it. There's a lot that goes to it. There's a big, I want to call it a family behind that person that's standing behind that desk. And there's a lot of support that goes into supporting that person at the desk, and with all these positions that I just named. But there's so many different opportunities. I've seen people go from store level to the corporate office, which in StorQuest there's a lot that were working the store level, and now they're working in the corporate office and they're moving up and they're doing really well. So the sky's the limit, actually, with the opportunities with storage and with StorQuest.
Oh, that's great. So now I think we're sharing the PowerPoint about StorQuest.
Yeah, absolutely. Be happy to do that. So what you see before you is StorQuest operates three distinct self-storage concepts, each designed with a different customer in mind. Like for the first one, the StorQuest Self Storage, that first location, that's really the flagship of our storage facility. This is the most common storage facility that you're going to see in any market. And that's managed between 2 and 3 people, because you generally have about mid-size 750 all the way up to, like, I have stores that are 1,500 units. So they'll be managed by 2 or 3 people. But the value of service and technology and premium storage is really associated with that. On the second one, we have StorQuest Express, also known as SQX. These are more like tech-savvy customers. You essentially walk into the lobby there, and you'll have a kiosk that's sitting there where the customer can interact with the kiosk and interact with an agent that would come online and assist them and walk them through that move-in process. So it may be it's 24/7 storage leasing. And so some customers prefer to have that type of experience. And then we have also the StorQuest Economy Self Storage. That's where it's a more value-focused offering. These properties tend to be a little bit older, but they're well maintained, they're clean, and these are more practical for customers. So that's what we have with the 3 that we have there. And then the good thing about working with StorQuest is that you can see how many states that we're in. We're located in 18 states. I actually had a couple military spouses that worked for me, and their spouses ended up being transferred over to Florida. And so they were able to move over to Florida. So that's the opportunity that the military spouses have, is that you have opportunities to move. No, you don't have to just stay. You start in San Diego, you may be shipped to Florida, and now you're going to be living in Florida. So if there's positions available there, you can certainly apply for them or be transferred to them, provided that you're in good standings at the location you started at. But we have about 18 states there, 600 plus employees, 250 facilities, 117,000 plus storage units that we manage, 17 million square feet, and we have 122 RV park spaces as well.
Wow.
So,
That's large.
yeah. So what makes the opportunities awesome? Because you can make a positive impact here. You're able to help people, really. I mean, if your passion is to really help people, our customers have a number of reasons why they store with us. It can be for good reasons, but also for bad reasons. Maybe they lost somebody and now they're putting their items in storage. Maybe they got promoted and now they need to put their stuff in storage because they're going to move out of state. So there's a number of reasons. So helping people by listening and understanding their challenges, this is something that if you bring that, this is going to be a positive if you want to work for storage. So you're able to ease their concerns and make it a very, streamlined move-in for the customer, so they're not running into issues. You really want to take that off their plate, and we put it on our plate, and we make the customer feel like we're going to take care of you here. You don't have to worry about that. You also have the ability to promote the team first environment. I want to say my team is we really work together. We help each other out, which is a great environment to be in. You can also take the lead on initiatives that we have. You can learn new skills like we talked about when I first started. I was able to learn a lot of new skills, build your management skills. So remember, once you learn these skills, you can take these skills wherever you go. You can never take that away. You could lose the job, but they can't take away the skills from you.
Right.
And that's what you want. That's what you want to take, because you become very valuable in that sense. And then, we have ways for our managers to contribute creatively also, because we are open to hearing from our managers who are on the front line, and they're really the ones that are eyes and ears. And with StorQuest, if a process is not working, we're open to hearing that, and we've changed things just based on what our managers at the store level have told us to make our process better, to make our experience for our customers better. So you can use that creativity, when you jump on board with StorQuest. And then with the assistant manager position, this is where most people that don't have, a storage background, they would begin, because this is this is where the rubber meets the road and you want to learn the business. So you are the first line representative with William Warren Properties. We look at full-time and part-time. Really depends on the area and the district and what the needs are for the district. In my district, I look at just full-time in San Diego. But the assistant manager is pretty much in charge of the same things the store manager is. They're in charge of the daily operations when the store manager's not there. And they provide that assistance to the store manager. And we look at a number of different metrics like revenue, delinquency management, occupancy, maintaining cleanliness standards, and customer service. So those are the things that how you can contribute. And if you have those skills, I mean, if there's an open position, I would definitely recommend that you apply for those. Store manager, that's our first line representative. They're responsible for really maintaining the daily operations. And they work closely with the district manager. If I have a question, I'm generally calling the store manager, and they're responsible for maintaining the property and following all those guidelines. And then they may be called to work, but multiple properties at times if somebody calls out, just like the assistant manager. We have somebody that calls out. Stores are run by 2 or 3 people, so if one person calls out on a day, we may have to cover that store. So the things that we look for in a candidate is we prefer that you have at least 1 year of experience in customer service or sales, that you're at least tech savvy a little bit, because we have some programs that you'll need to be able to maneuver in and out of. Have some cash handling required, must be available on the weekends. Store managers with us get Sundays and Mondays off, and then the assistant managers are off Tuesdays and Wednesdays. or Wednesdays and Thursdays. I usually give them their opportunity based on the store. Have a huge passion for customers, as I stated. I mean, our customers have different needs, and we just want to make sure that we're taking that off their plate and they're making it streamlined so they can just move in. Um, and the ability to be a part of a team and help support, motivate as needed to ensure collaborative. So we work together, like I said, with my district. If one store is down, they need help. My team is ready to jump on that and help that store out. So just have that positive, outgoing personality, which I look for during interviews. You got to have just that, because you're the face of StorQuest. We don't have a whole lot of banners, but when customer comes in, that is our banner, our manager behind the counter. Have an insatiable appetite to learn, because there is a lot to learn. We have learning centers in our human resource area, so you can always pick up and watch videos to increase your skills. And then just a strong accountability combined with strong work ethic, enthusiasm, and teamwork. Just be consistent, showing up every day. And then again, just the experience in working in retail is a big help.
Okay.
And as far as the perks go, I mean, we do have employee discount program that has travel destinations. You got discounts to gyms, electronics, food as well, like the ones that are listed there, and much more. Also, we have an employee assistant program for mental health services, legal and tax advice if you need it, and just a whole lot more there. And this is all confidential stuff, so nobody sees that. You can feel free to go there and just let them know about your situation. And also, we offer 401k as far as contributions go. And of course, we offer medical, dental, vision, life, and dismemberment. And then we give paid time off as well. So you accrue time off, and those are always nice to have. And then holidays, most of the stores are closed all major holidays. Like for instance, Christmas, New Year's Day, we're closed on those days, which is, for a retail location, that's pretty good, because most retail are open during that period. You get 20% discount on storage, and we have a lot of team building activities. For store managers, we take our store managers back to Las Vegas every other year. It's expense paid. They stay there for 3 days, which is nice,
Wow, now I want to work there.
Yeah, see that, I knew that would catch you there. And you get to stay there, and you learn a lot, though. So we know with StorQuest we have fun, but we also take advantage of the education that we're getting. But we know how to have fun too. This past year we had a lot of the district managers, including myself. We presented on different topics. I presented on sales presentation. So just kind of giving everybody how sales should be going at the store level, and just different things that we taught during that period. And that's really what we just believe in talent with our people. I mean, it's really, I think you'll find it very exciting with us. I am just so happy to be a part of this organization. The culture is really what I look for, and this culture is it's just great. I mean, you can't compare it. Oh, I think I went a little bit too far there, but I think we're good. I wanted to talk a little bit about the company as well, but I think it advanced.
I think you still have like 1 minute to go ahead.
Okay, yeah. Okay, can we go back? Yeah, let me go to this, because it kind of, I don't see the slide there though. Okay, yeah. So a little bit about William Warren Group, also known as StorQuest. We started in 1990. Was founded in 1994, actually. So we have a lot of experience. 29 years in the industry. We operate one of the largest privately held storage portfolios in the U.S. We are not a REIT. I mean, most companies, like the larger companies you see, are REITs. We are a private, which I like. And you can see by 2010, we had 50 facilities. And then we quickly advanced in 2014, 4 years later, to 100 facilities, over 700 employees, 140 person corporate team, including 30-person in-house sales and customer service. So just quickly advancing there. And then in 2019, we had 170 facilities, focused really on cash flow and growth at that time. And then now you can see where we're at. We're at 266 facilities, and we have 90 years of experience within the executive management team. So we're pretty good at what we do. And the thing that you want to take away if you're applying for a job, you want to see that type of growth happening. So that creates opportunities not only for our internal employees but also for external as well.
That's true.
Yeah. All right.
I think that was your last slide.
Yeah, that was my last slide.
Yeah, I believe we will have we'll take a few minutes to highlight some members who are watching and send them shout out. I think maybe Laura wants to step in and
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Patricia. Thank you, Arthur, for that great presentation. And I'm excited to learn more. And this is really, I mean, you're so right. The growth and what your company represents throughout the years is what really signifies, you know, consistency, but also growth and then stability, which is very much needed nowadays in today's market, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Let's take some moments to send some shout outs to some members, and then I'm going to start highlighting at the bottom some questions. So let's look up on LinkedIn. We have Veronica. Thank you so much. We have Christine. Thank you for supporting. And then thank you to John for also tuning in and showing up. And if you are also being shy and have not yet shared a comment or a thought, please allow us to send you a shout out. And then if we go to our Facebook group and then our Facebook community, let's send a shout out to Lydia as well as Patricia as well. We have Malia. We have as well as Janet. And then in our Facebook group, we have also our community members who are supporting as well. Thank you so much. And then we're streaming live in our neighborhood digital community. So if you're not familiar, that's usually intended for our members who don't want to hang out on Facebook, don't want to hang out on LinkedIn, but they have a mutual connection. So let's send a shout out over there to Sierra. Thank you everyone for supporting. And then I know your team here, StorQuest team, and William Warren has also been backstage supporting. So thank you so much for Amanda and everybody else. We had LaBird who shared hello as well. LaBird Butler, she's over on Facebook. Thank you very much for supporting. And then we had a question for you, Arthur. How did you specifically move to your passion without multifaceted skills? How were you able to manage multiple stores? What do you think your leadership saw in you to trust you? Because that's really what it comes down to, right? Your performance, and then of course saying, Arthur, you're special. Give us, you got passion here.
Absolutely. And that's a great question. When you first come in, especially, I mean, because I gave you the long story short, but what went along with that, I knew that I wanted to be in that district manager role. So what I did is I started to prepare for that, not only at the store level, but mentally for myself. So I started reading a lot of books about leadership, Good to Great, Stephen Covey. I mean, those were some of my main books that I read a lot. And so I wanted to prepare because I said, my team's going to depend on me. So I need to prepare for that. And so some of the things that I did is I learned, because what you can get out of a book, out of a 2-hour read, you can get the experience from this person who wrote the book, who spent 20 years in management, and you kind of extract that information. You can start to utilize it. You may not use all of it, but some of the key points that they use, you can, you don't have to learn by experiment. You can learn by what they did that worked out for them. And that's kind of what I did. And I just spent a lot of time just reading. And the skill level, I mean, sometimes it was nervous. I admit, when I first stepped into the role and I had multiple stores and they had promoted me down to San Diego, it was a little nerve wracking, but you just got to step, like I said, you got to just take the action, and you'd be surprised at the things that you can accomplish by just taking that first step. Don't worry about the second step, just take the first step. That would be my advice.
Beautiful. Patricia, what was your takeaway learning this experience and then being open to new opportunities? What is your personal sort of a feeling right now?
I wish I were in Florida right now. I mean, a company that takes you to Vegas, what's not to like?
Absolutely.
But I am, what I'm understanding from this conversation is that it was interesting for me to hear him say, I almost left the interview room, like I wasn't going to be into storage because that wasn't in my mind. But now he's so passionate about it. He spent most of his career with William Warren, I think, and he's just thriving. So sometimes taking that first action, like he says, giving yourself the opportunity to really find out what the world is about before you say no to it, like
Hmm.
really, really be proactive and intentional about what you're doing instead of just looking for that ideal world that may never work for you from the get-go. So maybe you have to dig deeper to find out what's really meant for you. And so that's my takeaway, to go out there and give myself those chances, because sometimes they're not always obvious, and I have to go and find out what's really underneath all that's in front of me, to figure out what I'm good at, and if I'm really meant for something that at first sight might not look like what was meant for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And my takeaway is that you never know, but based on appearances perhaps, or the day to day, but I can see, being in a storage unit, or managing, being part of the team, how delightful it will be, because we thrive also. This is very independent. This is very also leadership. You take initiative to kind of do day to day action, grow the unit, grow the business, grow alongside with your team. And I think a lot of military spouses and service members, of course, we love that. We love to be let alone, be let go to do our thing, but then check in, of course, in with time, and then allow us to really build it for you. I cannot think of a perfect work environment when you are in a unit, and you are leading it, you are dealing with your customers, you're making someone day better, because what most people store in a storage, it's a live happening event situation, whether you're moving, like when we did through our active duty situations, Patricia, or you are going through a life transition and you need a safe place to put your stuff that is very meaningful to you, right? Otherwise, why would you put it in the storage, right? The other thing that I got to take away was, Arthur, when you shared about those spouses, and thank you so much for supporting our community with this, highlighting how you were able to help them have a mobile career. Started out with you in San Diego in California, and then now they're in Florida, and they had no lapse of employment. I mean, not by choice, at least, right? They were able to work it out with the company and said, I'm moving to this area. As long as you have opportunities out there, hey, I'm starting again in a month or 2 months after I settle. I'm back on the job, and I don't have to go job hunting anymore, because StorQuest supported their career pathway.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, they
Yeah.
were one of the best employees I had, actually. So it's great to have them.
Awesome. I do have another question here from another LinkedIn user who's saying, what kind of training or certifications would you recommend for this industry? Thank you for posting that.
Yeah, that's a great question. Also, I mean, I would recommend continuing education, getting your bachelor's, and then we also look at experience too. I mean, if you have a background in managing multiple locations, then that's life experience. But if you don't have that, then kind of I would get the degree, and then start at that level that I kind of started. I started off as assistant. I was willing to take a step back and just go in there. I didn't get paid very much. I only got paid, I think at the time, was like $10 or $11 an hour. But I saw the growth potential, and I was willing to just tough it out and just learn the business, and it worked out for me. And that's what I would recommend: just get the degree, go to class, and work at the same time.
Awesome.
That's what I did.
I'll have Patricia in a little bit ask you just another wrap up question, but I'm curious. If we were to share with someone today, like right now, watching, we have several people watching on LinkedIn, Facebook, and then multiple channels. But what would be one call to action, one simple homework assignment that you will give, Arthur, to a viewer who is looking to find that ideal, passionate career pathway? What would be that one thing that you will transfer to someone's thought process today after this segment?
For me, I would think you don't need a perfect resume. You have to find the perfect environment is what you need to have, because the environment is just important as the company that you choose. You got to have a company that's going to be able to support you, throughout your career. So that's what I would be, is make sure that you're finding a company that's going to support that, and then has a path for you to move upward too. Like I said, when I first started here, that first interview, the reason why I was willing to take the less money was that I saw the path forward, and I knew that I can achieve those steps and take those steps. All I had to do is do well, and I did get promoted throughout. It didn't happen overnight. I started off as an assistant. I went to general manager. Then I was the district trainer for the district, and then I became the district manager in training, and then I stepped into that role as a district manager. So, but you have to have that right environment that creates that. Otherwise, I mean, you're going to find that when you get out to some businesses, there's this glass ceiling that you never are able to pass. And so, those are some of the questions that I would, and then take advantage of things that you may not be comfortable with, because those might be your passion. You might, like with me, I didn't think storage was going to work for me at all, but as I went to look at it, I became very passionate about it later on. But don't put those off, and just do your research on the company and find out what they're all about.
And may I add to your list of titles, webinar host, webinar co-host, as
I
well
was,
as
I was excited.
company spokesperson as well. This is
Yeah.
exciting. This is a good achievement as well. So yeah, add that to your list of contributions through your pathway. So Patricia, back to you.
Yes. Thank you, Laura. And Arthur, you talked about your growth. You were promoted and went all the way up to the top. What does growth look like in your company in StorQuest? At StorQuest, how does somebody from a junior level role can go all the way to the top management, and what does that look like in terms of years? I know they have to be good at their job,
Mhm.
and maybe you also tell us what that entails. How
Yeah.
can candidate A and B
Yeah.
be? Why will candidate A be promoted and B not promoted? Like what makes one different and better than the other for promotion
Yeah.
within your company?
That's a great question. It's a great question. I mean, everybody has, like, a store manager has their list of responsibilities that they have to do well, and those are the kind of the basic responsibilities.
Mhm.
But on top of that, I mean, in my instance, I was at the store level, and one of the things that my district, and I had like four district managers, the fifth one came through and just said, "Hey, well, first of all, what are you doing here?" He was like, but later on, he said, "You got to be good with relationships. You got to build relationships with your manager. They have to be able to follow you, and if you don't have good relationships with them, that's the biggest thing that I think that I would take away, is that I had to change that around initially, because my concept of that was a little bit different. As I started to read more, I started to become better at that. But um, you got to stand out as far as leadership wise. We have some people in the district that, especially in my team, I have individuals where my team reaches out to them all the time, and that shows me that they have that leadership. And so those are some of the things that can open the door for you. The things that have to happen is we have to have, like, for instance, we have to have enough stores. Each district manager covers about 15 stores. So if we get to like 30, then or 25, then we might want to consider opening it. So the position has to be available also, is what I'm saying. But in order to set yourself up for success, like for me, when I was moving up, there was no position for district manager in San Diego. But I worked, so I said, this is when it becomes available, I want to be the first one at the door. And so I just started to work hard. And eventually the position opened up, and I was the one standing in front of the door. And so that's how you really want to position yourself, is just get the work done. You stand out by creating relationships with your team.
Okay.
I don't know about you, Patricia, but every time I meet great people like Arthur and like Paula, and of course, like great companies like this, I feel so lucky that I know that if a worst case scenario, and I always describe it as this: if the zombie apocalypse comes in and I have to start all over again in a new job, I know who to reach out, because they have the structure, the company, the availability, and of course, the career progression that I probably will be really great at. What are your thoughts, Patricia?
Yes, you were talking to me, you were asking me what stood out to me about all this. Yes, you have to be proactive and not just say no to opportunities, even when they don't look appealing at first sight. But he talked a lot about his people, the people that work. He kept saying his team, his team. I could have just have fun and tally each time you say my team, so that shows that you care about the people, that your junior level employees and people that work. They are an integral part of your of StoreQuest. To you, it
Absolutely.
wouldn't be StoreQuest without those people. And you said one of the things you mentioned about um, thriving in this role in your company is to be a people person, to be able to have customer focused mindset. And I feel like these are the type of companies I would love to apply to and work for.
Oh yeah.
So that's you guys are people persons. And I will not hesitate if I were to look for a job in that industry to apply to your company, because you care about your people. And not to even mention all the things that you listed about 401k, all the benefits. It's Those are the things that we candidates or job seekers are looking for in a company.
Absolutely.
Also,
Um, and just so that we're getting close to wrap up, and we're running out of our time for this segment. It's been so delightful and so informational, but also it's so tremendously inspiring to learn about the great opportunities and everything that happens behind the scenes, Arthur and Patricia, that we don't think about when we are applying or when just at first glance looking through it. How you get to build different trajectories by executing a little bit more, sort of thinking outside of the box. And so with that, I want to put you on the spot, both of you, and said, is there one thing, what would you like us to remember? What's our call to action for this segment? And then on second question is, how can people get a hold of you? How can they connect? How can they make that meaningful connection with you? So let's start with you, Patricia. Uh, what's your call to action after this segment?
be bold, go out there and do your best to just grab what you can grab, and maybe a nice surprise will be waiting for you on the other side. That's what he did. And I am happy to hear that, because I have the motivation. If Arthur made it all the way to the top by you know going taking his chances on something that wasn't even really what he was actually envisioning for himself, I can do the same. It's not always going to be wrapped up in a nice bow. So this is an inspiration for me, and it's a motivation. And I'm not just saying it because you're in front of me. Really, it's being in the military community and being always mobile and no, having this type of nomadic lifestyle. You want to hear success stories that it doesn't always look appealing in the beginning, but you can make it through. You can get to what you're looking for. So I don't know if
Awesome.
that answers the question, but
Absolutely.
that's
And how
what
do we get a hold of you? How do we connect and
me
follow you as well? What's the best
me
way?
I am relatively active on LinkedIn, and you can send me a request to connect on LinkedIn. I will, or a DM, I will answer. And also, I have my website where I can also be contacted, and also my email. Everything is on my website. Maybe after the this segment, we will share those informations. But I'm pretty open to meeting and connecting professionally with like-minded people.
Awesome. Thank you. And then you, Arthur, great segment. Thank you so much for coming and taking time out of your busy management and schedule. What will be our call to action? If anyone tunes in right now, they're scrolling, they're like, oh, okay, 5 minutes to watch. Great. What will be your call to action that you can share with our community? And then how can we best connect with you and follow up?
Yeah, I mean, I just like I said with before is just don't focus so much. I mean, when I interview people, I'm looking for someone who's just really excited and they want to do that. You can tell already. I mean, I know during interviews, people can put that on, but I have a pretty good sense of who's motivated to get the job done. So it's not really about the resume, but it's really about the person. So bet on yourself. Don't count yourself out. Apply for the job, you know, find out where that job can take you. And then if you feel like that path is your path, then apply for it. Just like, again, I refer back to the way when I first applied for this 26 years ago, I looked at the path. That's kind of what I looked at. and I saw, hey, I can do this, and then I applied. So um, there's many times where you may have that hesitation. I was hesitant. I remember the day that I applied for the district manager job. Before I had a hard time just hitting that send button initially, but I did it. I sent it, and the rest was history after that. So just have the courage to go after it. Bet on yourself. Apply for the job, and you'll be surprised on where that could take you. Now, as far as contacting me, you can contact me at my email. It's asalaiz@williamwarren.com.
Perfect. Thank you. And we'll share that in the comments so anybody wants to connect directly. But also, when in doubt, I always like to be very visual for those of you who are scrolling, just because if you're are going and navigating to social, you know exactly which website you need to go to and find your job. So if before we go, I'd like to share with you, this is what StorQuest self-storage exploration career opportunities look like. And then if you clicked on find your next career, let me show you what that looks like, because there are a lot of opportunities for you to get your foot in the door, maybe build that management experience, transfer your management experience if you already have it, and of course find different opportunities. And it looks like, okay, there it is. Perfect. See all of this. We have opportunities all the way on Broadway, on Richmond. You can go all the way to California, Sacramento, Torres. I mean, you name it. There are so many locations in Arizona, customer support specialists overnight. So the key is really just to think a little bit about, where do you see yourself? What type of work environment do you think? And then also assess, do I really need all those extra perks and benefits that this employer offer? And if you say yes to more than one and three, then yeah, for sure, explore it and opportunities. And not only that, surround yourself with great people that look after you and will be there to back you up, like here with me. Thank you so much to Patricia, and then of course to Arthur, who have been such a great collaborators today during this particular segment. And we are so delighted that we have taken the chance to do this live. So thank you so much for watching, all of you, and continue to post your comments and your questions. We'll come back and share those with you, and then we'll let you know how to get a hold of Arthur and Patricia as well. We'll put it in the comments. So thank you so much, everyone, for supporting, for watching. We'll see you next Wednesday.